to Beatles Backbeat. This is the Beatles show that plays the Beatles songs you don't hear anywhere else. We get them off of the back burner and play them up front for you. I'm Gary Shipe, and today I've got a fun show lined up for you with some special guest DJs who will join me right after our first song. We start off with Do You Want to Know a Secret? At a minute 50, it's one of the shortest Beatles songs, recorded on February 11th, 1963, as part of that 11-hour recording session to get their first album, Please Please Me, done. I wanted to play a short one because I really want to get to our guest DJs today. I'm going to be sharing the microphone on Beatles Backbeat today with Seattle's best Beatles tribute band, Creme Tangerine. Welcome, guys. They're here in the studio. Thanks for coming in. We did this about a year ago. I'm flattered that you want to come back. Surprised, actually.
Thank you, Gary. It's an honor to be here.
Yeah,
Gary, we love hanging out with you on the show here, so thanks for having us.
You're going to have
back.
to get on mic better. That's Jeff Lockhart.
Gary, I just wanted to say how much we appreciated hanging out with you once again.
Oh, I love to hear that kind of flattery. Well, for the folks listening, we don't have TV except maybe some kind of space-age new technology that Creme Tangerine is incorporating into their own website.
Yes.
People will get to see this, but tell the folks who you are. Jeff already spoke. Go ahead, Jeff. Start us off with who's whom here.
I am Jeff Lockhart, and I play the drums in Creme Tangerine.
I'm Chuck Dorsey. I play keys in Creme Tangerine.
My name is Daniel Grant, and I am the singer for Creme Tangerine.
My name is Tim Ushin. I play guitar.
My name is Rick Jones, and I play bass.
And I'm so happy to have you guys here. You know, last week, if people were fans of Beatles Backbeat, they heard we were all going to be up there in Kirkland, and a couple of weeks ago now, doing a kind of rooftop performance recreation of the Beatles thing. It was just a lot of fun. You guys are a fun band, and it's just great to have you in here. I expect we'll have a fun hour today, so, you know, who knows what's going to happen. We played one song already, and maybe that's going to be the highlight. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Well, we'll just start with the origins of Creme Tangerine, so people know what we're talking about. People maybe have seen you around town for years, right? 10 years or so. Who wants to give us the background?
Yeah, actually, we're going to 15 years with Creme Tangerine, and basically started. We all been friends a really long time, and got together. We played in church together, and then we would get together on Wednesday nights for just a fun beer and pizza night as buddies, and we decided to learn the White Album for fun, and did that for a couple of years, and it turned into learning most of the Beatles music. And so for 15 years we played their hits, eras of the Beatles, whole albums we'll recreate, and it's just been a really great pleasure to play great Beatles music for people who appreciate it.
Well, let's ask this. What age did you guys start playing music? Chuck?
Elementary school. 7, 8 years old. Classically
Really?
trained as a kid, yeah. So props out to my parents, I guess.
And let me just butt in with this one. Kids who took, I had to take lessons as a kid. Once you heard, like, I don't know, Hey Bulldog, and the start of that with dun, 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 you say, hey Mom, hey Dad, can I play this instead of classical music, please?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Especially, too, playing by ear, you hear something on the radio, you're like, I want to figure that out.
Who else? Tim, guitarist.
Yeah, guitar. My dad played guitar. I came from a musical family. My grandpa was a conductor. And so I took 1 year piano as a kid and did terrible at it, and had another worse year in violin. And then probably about 10 or 12 years old, picked up the guitar and loved it. Yeah.
And did you plug in right away?
Pretty close. Yeah, I wanted to plug in.
Rick, what do you think? When did you pick up an instrument?
Well, I started playing piano when I was 5, and gave it up to be a ski racer when I was 10, and picked up the bass at 15 and never looked back.
Really? Dan, so you're the singer, but you play instruments as well?
No, it's a lot easier carrying around a voice.
Because you don't have to. You don't have to,
I don't
pack
have to
your
lug
stuff.
everything around.
I see.
I think we all have a different background in that. I started playing drums when I was 11 years old, and I played in lots of bands. I've known Tim for a long time, and Chuck since we were in our teens. But with this outfit, pretty much for 15 years for me.
All right, well, we got to stop having so much fun because of the Beatles Backbeat fans tune in for music. So I'll let you guys, pick some songs here. Now, who's got a favorite they want to jump in with?
Take it.
Well, one of my favorite songs to sing, and one of the reasons why is because I get to play off of Tim and I get to play off, is I Want You. She's So Heavy off of the White Album.
Oh,
Actually,
that's a fave too.
Actually, that's
Mr. Billy.
Oh no, Abbey Road. Sorry. I'm still sleeping.
It's kind of a party foul when you play in a Beatles band and say that, but we love you, Dan.
Yeah, no, sorry guys. Yeah, it's one of those.
Why do you like that song so much?
The vocals and the guitars, Tim's going, and I'm going, ooh. It's just cool to have that, between Tim and I, and just the power of the vocals on that song sometimes just goes really big.
All right, so our first request of the day, done well from Dan Grant, lead vocals of Creme Tangerine, I Want You, She's So Heavy. That is Dizzy Miss Lizzy. Comes off the Help album. We are talking with Creme Tangerine here, and Tim Mushin, guitars for Creme Tangerine, requested that song. Tim, thanks for that one. What do you like about Dizzy Miss Lizzy?
Oh, it's just a fun song. It's just that old rock and roll. It's just fun energy with that song, and just a really fun guitar part.
So you guys, every Beatles song, right? Awkward pause. You have to say yes.
Between all of us.
Yeah, just about.
I know half, Dan knows the other half, and between the two of us, we know half.
But you do play that one live once in a while?
Actually, we don't play that song yet. I'm trying to talk the guys into playing that one.
Oh, well, there we go. Putting them on the spot.
That's right. Now there's pressure to learn it. So.
I like that. Okay, well, that's a great way to wrap up our first segment here, because we're going to have to go to break. If we do talk too much, we won't get to hear enough Fab Four music. We are also going to get interrupted later by a Gonzaga basketball game at 4:40, but the Fab Four faithful can switch over and listen to the show online at KIXI.com. We've got more Beatles Backbeat with Creme Tangerine coming up. Don't go anywhere. You are listening to Beatles Backbeat on AM 880 KIXI.
This is Chuck Dorset with Creme Tangerine, and you're listening to Beatles Backbeat with Gary Shipe on AM 880 KIXI.
I'm George, and I play a guitar.
Welcome back to Beatles Backbeat on KIXI Radio, AM 880. I am Gary Shipe, along with special guests picking our songs today, Beatles tribute band, Mother Superior and the Gun Jumpers. Wait, that can't be right. No, Creme Tangerine. Well, that's... What's there was something like that. Somebody told me this once. Was it?
I told you that.
That's not.
Man, I appreciate that, Gary.
Is that what it was?
When we first started this band, we only played the White Album.
Right.
We used to be called Mother Superior and the Warm Guns.
The Warm Guns.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then someone said, if you change your name, people might want to listen to you more. So that was good advice. So we changed our name to Creme Tangerine.
Okay, now a lot of people...
maybe we should change it back.
No. The words Creme Tangerine are kind of obscure to a lot of people too, even though they're Beatles fans. You want to explain that?
Well, as when we were doing the White Album only, we thought we have to do something that's White Album oriented. So that came from Savoy Truffle, the Creme Tangerine reference, and then that served us well, and it's been a good names.
All right, so that Jeff Lockhart, drummer of Creme Tangerine, Chuck Dorset on keyboards is here, Rick Jones, bass player, Tim Mushin, guitarist, Dan Grant, lead vocal for Creme Tangerine. I want to talk about the Kirkland Performance Center. KIXI has a nice relationship with the Kirkland Performance Center. We do our imagination theaters down there. We go down there and meet people, but you guys are playing the Kirkland Performance Center coming up soon as a benefit, right, to raise money so Beatles fans can have fun listening to you guys play live Beatles music and have a good time supporting a good cause. Jeff, go ahead and talk about that, too.
Absolutely. Yeah. So March 9th at 6:30 p.m., we play, it's called Come Together, a benefit for Kirkland Performance Center. It's our second time doing this, and we're going to be performing the Beatles compilation album 1, all the way through all 27 number one hit singles of the Beatles. And then the proceeds from the tickets that night go straight to benefit Kirkland Performance Center's presented season and education. And KPC is really honored that it is a gathering space to be a place to for the community to be connected by culture. And so we just hope people come out, support us in that effort. Creme Tangerine wants to be part of that cultural expression and helping us support a great theater like KPC. So we hope people come out and have a really good time that night.
Yeah, it's cool. So Friday night, March 9th, Kirkland Performance Center. Come together to support the Kirkland Performance Center. Creme Tangerine, now that is, like you said, from Savoy Truffle, a George Harrison song off the White Album. George Harrison's birthday's coming up soon this month. Who's got a favorite George song they want to request?
Let's do While My Guitar Gently Weeps, one of my favorite George Harrison songs.
Now see, there's a couple versions.
I'd like the Love version. That's one of my favorite albums. I love hearing some of the mashups.
The fourth verse, too.
What was that?
The fourth verse version of that is good.
Oh, there's an alternate lyrics. You're right.
Yeah.
The alternate lyrics. I sing that every once in a while, too. It's kind of fun.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
So you throw in the alternate words on While My Guitar Gently Weeps from the Love album. Everybody's Got Something to Hide Except for Me and My Monkey. I think the longest title of a Beatles song. Requested here today from Creme Tangerine bass player Rick Jones. Rick, thanks for that one off the White Album. Why did you want to hear Everybody's Got Something to Hide Except Me and My Monkey today?
Because it's, in my opinion, it's the most intense Beatles song they ever did. Is John's just letting it all hang out, and that guitar riff right at the beginning, going into when the band comes in, is just right in your face, and it never lets up. Kind of reminds me of a pre-Cold Turkey in a way, because he's just letting it all hang. Like on Cold Turkey, he just let it all out.
Any other comments on those kind of rockin' songs on the White Album? Distorted guitar wasn't really used that much up till that point, was it?
Not a lot. No, on that note, Helter Skelter, the Who was trying some stuff, and Paul McCartney was like, hey, the Who is down the street. We can't be outdone by those guys. So Helter Skelter, what I read, was an answer to that. That's they was all just, going for it, turning everything up, maxing everything out, which we take for granted as being easy to do now, but at the time wasn't so mainstream to be able to do.
This is the time of the show I usually talk about Beatles history. And at this time of year, if we go back to this part of February, 1967, they were deep into recording Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. And this week, 1967, perhaps the final single ever released in maybe all of rock and roll, a double A-sided single, Penny Lane and Strawberry Fields Forever. I mean, it was supposed to be part of the Sgt. Pepper album, but it was like so long between releases that Brian Epstein, their manager, and George Martin, their producer, said, we guess we got to put something out to make some sales. And they cut those two songs off the album, said, okay, put them out as a single. But man, both of those songs are a #1 song. What do you think of that release? I mean, Penny Lane and Strawberry Fields.
I think that's incredible. As you're pointing out, that was a real, as we know, a milestone in their career. They were kind of, going through the Mop Top stuff, and then Rubber Soul and Revolver, and they got tired of that, and they stopped to reinvent themselves. When they came out, they reinvented themselves in a major way, and that had just pushed all the boundaries, and actually, it changed music. And so they were inventing music that people had never really heard before, and that was the precursor to Sgt. Pepper, and it was really incredible. It's also interesting how young they were when they did that. So wasn't that like point. At the end of our life we discovered this? They were in their early 20s discovering new ways of making music, and that's what came out, and it's never been matched before. It's really amazing.
You guys have played that whole album straight through, right, as one of your shows, right?
Correct.
Any of those really tricky to play? I mean, A Day in the Life or Within You Without You, or who plays sitar in the band, by the way?
When we did that, we hired out an orchestra, and then we hired Indian musicians to do that. Yeah, and so a really good sitar player.
I was wondering if the synthesizer keyboardist could make everything sound good.
I can play everything in a band.
Well, who wants to hear something from Sgt. Pepper, and what do you want to... I mean, that's such a great album.
My favorite song on that is called Getting Better. I'd love to hear that one, Gary.
Getting Better from Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. And if you don't pick up the tone arm on your vinyl, the original vinyl, you hear the run-out groove. We're talking about the experiment and the way they started breaking rules. They decided let's put some music on that little run-out groove and keep people interested. If they're stoned listening to Sgt. Pepper, they won't go over and pick up the tone arm. I can picture guys back in '67 just listening to that forever, not know that they were listening to that forever.
Well, isn't there a supersonic tone on that?
Oh, there's something that I think only dogs can hear.
Dogs. I tried it on my dog. It's not working though. So. Or maybe he is. He just won't talk to me. So
that's probably it. Hey,
it happens all the time.
We got to wrap up this segment of Beatles Backbeat here, where we are talking with Creme Tangerine today. Gonzaga basketball is coming up on AM 880, but hang in there, Beatles fans. We are not done yet. More with Beatles tribute band Creme Tangerine, and more music from the Fab Four can be had by listening to us online at KIXI.com. Use your KIXI app on your smartphone, and you'll hear more of Beatles Backbeat with Creme Tangerine on Retro Radio, AM 880 KIXI.
This is Rick Jones with Creme Tangerine, and you're listening to Beatles Backbeat with Gary Shipe on AM 880 KIXI.
No, actually, we're just good friends.
These youngsters from Liverpool, England, will leave an imprint with everyone over here who's met them. And that goes for all of us on our show.
Welcome back to Beatles Backbeat on KIXI.com. I'm Gary Shipe. We're here with Creme Tangerine playing guest DJ this week. Rick Jones, bass player, Jeff Lockhart, drums, Chuck Dorsett, keyboards, Tim Mushin, guitar, and Dan Grant, our vocalist. For Creme Tangerine, you guys are playing the Kirkland Performance Center, right? March 9th.
That's right.
Yep. A benefit to help the Kirkland Performance Center. They're a nonprofit. There's a lot of these local and community theaters that do a lot of things for the community. So Kirkland has one. It's called the Kirkland Performance Center. And this will raise money to help them stay open and present their things all year, not only to bring in big acts, but most of the time it would be without these kind of fundraisers, a money-losing venture, because you open to the community and let the community use that theater, right?
That's right. No, as a matter, that's well said. Kirkland Performance Center puts on 240 shows a year. There's about 35 of those shows that they present, that they produce and put on. The rest of them is from community organizations and artists renting the theater, and KPC does what it can to subsidize and do a good job keeping the doors open to be, as we said, a gathering space to be a community connected by culture. And so we're really honored to be a part of this and do what we can in that to support the theater.
Now, if I recall last year's, is this year's going to be like that? Because it was kind of a nice celebration. Before the show started, people got to gather and people dressed up. I wore a tie. You know,
right on.
Gary, that's awesome. You can do that again. Yeah, before there's an hour and a half before you can come in the lobby. And there's going to be a champagne bar and dessert bar, and there's a VIP package you can purchase online at kpcenter.org. And there's actually beneath KPC there's an underground club, a secret club called the Kirk Room.
What?
I know. Hold on. Don't buckle your seat, Chuck.
Not a secret anymore.
And down there it's going to be fully catered and it's going to be groovy. So and then that's even before the show starts, Gary. So It's going to be awesome.
And it is kind of secret because if people are listening to the basketball game, they forgot to flip over. So only the people listening online right now have heard about the secret, which is the Kirk Club.
The Kirk Room, Gary.
The Kirk Room.
Yes, it's an underground secret club. So if you are listening online, that's your reward.
There you go. Good point.
Yeah. So
all right.
Never know. Always pay attention.
All right, Jeff. Now you want to pick a song from Revolver, right?
I do, Gary.
To play next.
That's my favorite Beatles album, and there's a song on there called "And Your Bird Can Sing," and it's one of my favorite Beatles songs too.
Without much more to have to say, let the music do the talking, I guess. All right, well, it's time to play another song. Who's got a chocolate? We haven't heard a request from you. Okay, what do you want to hear?
Yeah, so I'm wearing my Hard Day's Night t-shirt.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
I really like I'm Happy Just to Dance With You. Love the vocals on that one.
Oh, good one. That's a good one.
In the mood.
I'm in the mood. Are you in the mood, Chuck?
Did you hear that in the rollout there? A little bit of sax in the mood.
All You Need Is Love, the song picked today for you by Chuck Dorsett of Creme Tangerine, telling me there's In the Mood in that one. Chuck, thanks for that song.
Yeah.
Comes on the album Magical Mystery Tour now, but it was a hit single for the Beatles. It's a #1 single. We're here with Creme Tangerine. You guys are going to be playing this, right? Coming up soon?
March 9th, Kirkland Performance Center. The benefit is called Come Together, featuring Creme Tangerine. We're going to perform the Beatles 1 compilation all the way through, and the proceeds from the evening go to present KPC's Presented Season, an educational programming the community to support a community connected by culture.
Cool. And you guys, people, if we want to tag along and figure out more about you guys, you're online, right? You have a presence online, cremetangerine.com, right?
That's correct.
But you have Facebook, too? How about...
Well, you can check us out mostly on Facebook, and on our web is how we mostly do our social media.
And so are upcoming gigs posted on there, and people can...
Absolutely. Next one is March 9th at KPC, and then after that in the community locally is March 30th at a fantastic club locally called Bake's Place, and it's in Bellevue, and we're going to do that. And then if you see on our website, we have all sorts of dates coming up through the spring and into the summer, and we'll be all over the Washington State area.
I can't thank you guys enough for coming in today. We've been having Creme Tangerine, our guest DJs. We got time for one more song. Rick Jones, bass player, Jeff Lockhart, drums, Chuck Dorsett, keyboards, Tim Mushin, lead guitar, Dan Grant, vocals with Creme Tangerine. One more song to take us out. Rick, you had something you thought was worthwhile talking. Again, a song off of the one album you guys will be playing coming up at the Kirkland Performance Center soon, right?
Yes, and I've been tasked with learning all these songs, and when I started learning them, your first one you learn is "Love Me Do," and you're going, okay. And then you move on to the next one, and I'm co-singing it, and you're learning this bass line, and the song comes at you so fast, and there's no intro. You're singing right off the top. There's no room to breathe. You have to be in the song all the time. It's an amazing piece of work for a pop band, I think.
Dan, we're talking about From Me to You, their second single. Is he right? You don't get to take a breath as the vocalist? You got to take a breath.
You go right away. In fact, I start the song.
Yeah, you 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
the vocals start before the band comes in.
Yep. Yeah, there's really no breaks. It's just go, 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 go. We're done. You're like, whew.
Yeah, it is. It's like a 2-minute marathon.
So when you're not singing, you have harmonica to play.
Yeah, the harmonica's going on.
Oh, someone's got to be playing the harmonica. Who's doing that? Or is the keyboard done?
I'll do it.
Okay. All right. So thank you guys so much. Dan, Rick, Tim, Chuck, and Jeff, Creme Tangerine. We'll finish up Beatles Backbeat this week with From Me to You. Thanks, guys. From Me to You puts a wrap on a special Beatles Backbeat with my guest DJs, Creme Tangerine. Catch them at the Kirkland Performance Center on Friday, March 9th. We are completely out of time now. Do you guys want to do my usual end of show stuff?
For me, well,
that's
You can always get your Fab 4 at 4 every Saturday afternoon on AM 880 KIXI.
Stay tuned to KIXI, because up next is the weekend edition of the 50s at 5 with Dan Murphy.
Shout out to my mom, who I know is listening right now. Hi, Mom.
No, let's not do that.
That's awesome.
You know the Beatles are as cool now as they were then. This is Seattle's Retro Radio, KIXI.
Yeah, it's been a good jingle jangle.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm Gary Shipe. Join me next time on Beatles Backbeat.
Thank you.